So I'm curious about, what is the biggest learning curve that you're going through? What has been that for the longest time for you? And then, more recently, what is?
I guess one of the biggest things is transparency. Okay, so when back in the, I'd say back in the day when my father was running this, everything about the financial side or everything about here was never disclosed to anybody. Okay, but how do you expect to grow if you don't know where you stand? If you don't know what your
Exactly.
costs are, if you don't know where taking that into account as you're bidding on a job, how do you expand from there? Okay. And one of the things in talking to some employees, like, hey, this is where we are. And, when they see us pushing 20, 30 cabinets out a month or 80 cabinets to 120 cabinets, whatever the case might be, they turn around and say, wow, you're really, we're making a lot of money here. And I was like, guys, the transparency, the nature of the beast is
Mhm.
we're 6 to 8 weeks manufacturing. Okay. I got, 150, $200,000 in just raw material costs that I'm carrying for those 6 to 8 weeks,
Mhm.
in addition to, you know, 45 days, 50 days by the time they pay me. So I got 4 or 5 months before they actually, before I see anything off of these things. And I think that opened up their eyes a little bit to realize and understand that, okay, even though I'm putting this product out here, there's a lot more to this on the back end that they don't see and understand.
Yeah, you're
And that
100.
doesn't include your electric, that doesn't include your water, your payroll, that's just material cost only.
Yeah,
That doesn't
exactly.
include your hardware that goes into it and everything else. And so that's been the biggest challenge of being comfortable talking about this with the employees and saying, okay, you know, this is where we are, not disclosing, huge financial numbers or any
Of
of that
course.
kind of information, but giving them a different perspective of saying, okay, this is the reason you're not making 60, $70 an hour type of scenario. This is everything is all laid out here in black and white. What questions do you have?
Yeah.
And being more personable with them on that level, even though I am, management, leadership, or whatever, to where they feel comfortable asking the question.
Right. Yeah. Well, then that's like any relationship, right? I mean, as soon as you start being transparent and communicating, that gives the other side an opportunity to be that way too, right? And then they can understand that you're not making 100% of the money that you're selling it for, right? You're just making a
Correct.
portion of that. And there's all these costs, and just that clarity, just trickles through the business, and then they feel like they're a part of something. Yeah, you're 100% right.
Yeah.
So,
And I think that's been the biggest curve is being comfortable talking about that with them and not having everything so hush hush and secretive and keeping closed lid on things to where they don't know exactly what's going on.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. That seems to be the world that we live in now, and that's
Hmm.
that's that's okay. I think it's actually better. But I'm familiar with that world because I grew up in the one where it was all secret and it was military style, right? Go do
Yeah.
this, go do that, and they call you a bunch of names in between. But the generation that we're leading, is not.
Correct.
They're softer, right? And that's okay, I guess. I don't see it changing anytime soon. So regardless of whether it's good, okay or not, we got to adapt.
We do.
So that's cool, man.